Shalom, shalom. I am trying again. I tried the blog talk slash YouTube thing. It was not working for me. I'm new to this whole multi-platform go-between. I couldn't tell what was really going on. Um, and so now I'm broadcasting live here on YouTube, and I hope that you guys are getting the feed. It might be a little bit delayed. I think you can make comments in the box if you see something that you'd like to say. And Blog Talk, I only had 30 minutes, and so I'm gonna do it all over again because it's always good to. It's okay. It's okay, and we gotta do it all over again. So let me know. Let me see here. Again, this whole thing is the whole thing is different. Let me give this here. Shalom, shalom. All right, there it goes. It's live. So let me get started here. Now that I see it's working this time. Okay, so I started off by saying, praise be to the Most High. This is the 31st day of the Proverbs Challenge. As promised, this is Muna Yisrael of a Faithful Life going live. This has been, for those who've been with me watching from the beginning, I wanted to start this channel, but, you know, I've been doing little stuff here and there, and this Proverbs Challenge was an excellent start for the channel. You know, I love, love, love the word of the Most High, and I just love sharing it, and I love hearing you guys' feedback. I love seeing everybody reading the same thing at the same time. I mean, when we go to our services usually, or when we go to Knesset or the synagogue, we are accustomed to reading the portion, or for those who are not accustomed to, for those who they may be in other institutions, we usually read the same thing, you know, which is called a portion every week. And it kind of makes everybody vibe on the same kind of thing. What did you get from the portion? What did I get from the portion? So in this instance, it's kind of like it reminded me of that on a broader scale. So I thought that was really cool. So it was different people who know themselves to be different things, all seeking for that wisdom and understanding that Solomon is talking about. So I just thought it was really interesting. And so I'm going to do this last one live. And again, feel free to comment. I'm here. If you don't see me responding and you got this from Facebook, then try to hit me on the Facebook, and I have to turn down the volume so that it doesn't give me feedback. So here I go. I'll click back every now and then to see if I hear anybody have a question or a concern or something you want to add. So have you been watching? I try to dig a little deeper. And what I found is, I wanted to start at the beginning. And if you heard me a little bit of Blog Talk, I said this a little bit before, but I'm going to do it again. And this time the babies are sleeping, so hopefully you won't hear, Mommy, potty, potty, Mommy, gotta go. This time it's nap time for real, for real. So what first jumped out to me from yesterday's Proverbs and today's Proverb is that Solomon, according to what we know, didn't write it. Now, yesterday it told us who wrote it. It was Agar. But today it tells us that it was Lemuel, King Lemuel, who wrote it. Some say, when I looked up King Lemuel, some say that King Lemuel was Solomon. And that would say that Bathsheba, the mother who's talking, is his mother. Again, it's speculation. Nobody could prove that it's Solomon. So at this point, we're going to rock and call him Lemuel. What was the first thing I read? Because a lot of times they say, oh, go ahead and jump on down to verse 11. I'm like, nah, I don't want to jump on down to verse 11. I want to get the whole understanding of what I'm looking at. So I'm going to start at verse 1. That's what I like to start. I just want to give a little heads up. A lot of times, because everybody has the Bible or any book, and we can but the Bible is the most misused that I have seen, because you can go in there, take one from here, take one there, and you could sew a whole nice little design. So I wanted to start at 1 because I don't want to be sewing any designs. I just want to see what it says. And what I saw was that it's a mother talking to a king. She calls him king, and his name is Lemuel. Right off the bat, that tells me this is not Joe Schmo. This is not Jose the gardener. This is not the taxi guy. Not to say that everybody doesn't have their levels of where they are, but this type of individual that she's talking to, he's a high-ranking individual. And it's telling me, she's saying to him, don't give your strength to women, and that's spoken of in the book of Deuteronomy, not to give your strength to women, and not to go off doing what will destroy men, basically, which is women chasing, drinking, spending your money on the wrong things. So she's admonishing him not to do these things. Again, this is live, so you're going to see me thinking, taking time to think. She says, don't give yourself to drinking. You understand? Be sober-minded, because you're going to have to judge in matters. You're going to have to judge things. I found that interesting. As I read on, he has a social responsibility that he has to watch out for. Okay, that sounds good, Mom. So now when he starts in 11, it picks up to tell me that it is not just any kind of woman that this individual can have by his side. So right after we get hearing all of the admonishing from the mother, boom, we get to 11. A lot of times we just jump in 11 to say, okay, everybody has their positions and nobody's not saying no. But if you're Jose's wife, maybe you may not be to the level of the Proverbs 31 woman. It's not to say that you're less of a woman or I am less of a person or a woman. It's to say that in the context, because a lot of the times when we get misunderstood in religion is because things are taken out of context. If you heard me say right now, I can't stand when this thing gives me a delay. Somebody cuts out delay and only puts I can't stand. You hear Amuna is a hater because she's saying I can't stand. No, because someone took what I said out of context. It's called a miscommunication. We don't want to miscommunicate. We don't want to miscommunicate what the word is saying. So I have to go to the beginning. Lemuel's mother is talking. Lemuel is a king. Lemuel has to get a refined woman. A lot of times in ancient cultures, they breed a queen. From the time that they bring her from a certain stock, and then from the time that she's reared up, she's reared in this way. For those who may not know, Chayel, woman, or virtuous woman, the word in Hebrew is Chayel. I took the liberty to look up the word Chayel. Chayel means strength. Sometimes, I don't know, I wanted people to come and, let me see if anybody's here. If you're here, just give me a shout out so I can read your comments or something of that nature, because it's live, so I have to go back and forth here. So, I'm sorry. I wanted to know what people's thought of virtuous was, because the English definition may not be, you translate all the way up to the Hebrew. But when I looked up the word Chayel, a lot of the times in the scripture it's used talking about an army. It's talking about strong men. And in this instance, in 31, it's talking about a strong woman, which is very interesting to know. I'll just put it at that. If you want to look in the Strong's Concordance or your eSword, look up the word virtuous and look at the other contexts. Because the scripture is written in Hebrew, if we only look at the English word, a lot of times we will not understand the context. The context of Chayel is used oftentimes when it has to do with strength. I'm just saying. So I don't know what sometimes our understanding of virtuous is, but in this, that's what he's saying. So forward as I'm going here. So just stick with me. I'm not trying to make it long or long it out or anything. But so he's talking to, this is a queen, basically. He's saying Chayel woman or woman of strength. But this is a queen. Because if he's a king and his mother is talking to her, I'm not just talking about, oh, I'm a queen in my own thought. Yes, each person is their queen of their own castle. But I'm talking about a queen with social responsibilities and responsibilities that she has to be able to be a comparable counterpart for her husband. So I'm talking about the realisticness of, am I a Proverbs 31 woman? Or do I have a lot of qualities? So he says a lot of women have done virtuously, but you excel them all. 25, I compiled 25 here. Checklist of things that make a virtuous woman. It's not to say, sometimes we put our hat where our hand can reach. And sometimes we want to be beyond, not to say that the sky's not the limit, but sometimes we put additional undue stress on ourselves because we take a lot of things out of context. That's just my personal opinion. So 25 things that make a virtuous woman. 1, trustworthy. The scripture talks about her being trustworthy. I took it to mean trustworthy in all avenues. If I give you If the husband gives her money for the household, she's not out there buying Gucci purses and Estee Lauder or whoever you want to say, all the new fashions, and the children don't got new school shoes. She's not trustworthy. Is she trustworthy? Are you trustworthy? Am I trustworthy in the marketplace or with you in your family and your friend? If somebody asks you, Imuna, can you do this thing for me? They know it's gonna get done. Or do they know when I say, can you do this thing for me? You know it's not gonna get done. If you want something not to be done, don't ask Imuna or don't ask such and such. That's number one that I picked out. Is she trustworthy? Number two, is she a dime a dozen? Is she a dime a dozen? Not a dime a dozen. A dime a dozen means, is she hard to find? Because the very first line says she's hard to find. She's beyond rubies, her price is. You know, do you just go outside? You might get some cubic zirconias or some sprayed over, sprayed over gold, but she's hard to find basically. Now, if you are a dime a dozen, or if you treat yourself as a dime a dozen, or if you were taught to treat yourself as a dime a dozen, not to say that you cannot begin to change and elevate, but for where we are right now, where you currently are right now, are you common? Basically, that's what I get from our dime a dozen. Are you common? Are you a common individual? So, I know a girl like her in my neighborhood. I know such and such. Do I get to find you everywhere and anywhere is the question. From time to time, I would say, welcome to the Proverbs Challenge. This is the live edition of the Proverbs Challenge. I'm going to try not to go like forever too long. However, we're going to keep going here. So number 4, diligent and willing to work. Are you willing to work? Are you diligent in working? Do you hate and despise working? Are you lazy? Do you just like relaxing and not doing anything? Do you like doing minimal things? Are you self-motivated? All of these questions are because I didn't see here that someone was over her back having to pump her up like a helium balloon every time to get her out there to do anything. With inside of her mind, what I'm getting from Virtuous Woman, that in her mind is where a lot of this is taking place. Before it can manifest, she has to be this person. And that's why I said, is she born or is she made? Or do we have to start from a very young age to grow this type of individual? Or is it too late when we're old? I don't, not to say just give up hope, but it's just the reality of where we are. 5, travels outside of the comfort zone to get needs of family met. Are you willing to go far? Is going up the street to Joe's corner store too much for you? Are you willing to get, it's maybe hard to get that spirulina that we need to put in our drink, but you know what? I'm going to go get it. It may be difficult to get that 100% mattress that I know is better for you to sleep on, but you know what? I'm going to go get it because it's best for you. She goes out of her way to get what is best for her children. Hold on one second. It's live. Sorry. Yeah, is she willing to go to the borders to get the best things that her family needs? I know this supermarket right here is not good because they got, all kind of unclean food. I'm going to go over here. Or do I say, forget it, God, eat it, it's food anyway, just pray over it and it'll be over. Number 6, not lazy. Again, is she self-motivated? Is she lazy, or is she a self-motivated individual who will do what needs to be done without too much poking and prodding? 7, an employer. In the scripture, it tells us she wakes up early while it is yet dark and gives food to her maidens. That means she has people who works for her. I know it's hard for us to believe in this time where we seem to be the bottom of the barrel, or we are the bottom of the barrel. And when we came over here, a lot of us, our foreparents, were the maids. But a virtuous woman, a woman of this high caliber, she has helpers. She has people to help her complete the task, because the reality is there's no way in the world that she's going to be able to do all of this stuff for herself. She has helpers, believe it or not. And she teaches them well. She doesn't have helpers and a mean, nasty person. She has helpers, and she's giving other people a job, and she's also helping her job to get done. And I want to say another thing. I know people are going to be like, no, she didn't. But a lot of times, in certain circles, when we come back to knowing who we are, in verse 7, we try to take this principle and make what we saw that was cultural by adding women on top of women and saying that they have multiple wives, and begin to take the other women to make her helper. The scripture here doesn't say that other women or the other women of the husband is her helper. It says she has maidens. They're her own personal maidens. And I just wanted to make that a point because we're taking this principle and taking it out of context. She is an employer. Number 8, she is an entrepreneur. She sees a field, she buys it, she envisions. She puts her hands to work and able to make that into resources and to enrich the family. 9, again, she's a gardener because she did plant her vineyard. So she has a bit of a green thumb and she's able to go out there and make not only the food, but, to make the produce as well. Number 10, she has physical strength. She's not a weakling. If you give her something to do, she's not going to be like, oh, I can't. Okay. A lot of times we think that the woman or the woman that they portray for the man is just like, she's so delicate and she can't do anything. And she's like, that's not the virtuous woman. That may be a certain type of woman, but that's not the virtuous woman. The virtuous woman, it says there's strength in her arms. She is able to, she's not going to be like, buff and all crazy looking, but she's still able to hold her own, basically. 11 says a good merchant to do with business. She goes out, she makes her stuff, she takes it to market. She's pleasant to interact with, pleasant to deal with. You understand? She represents the Most High everywhere she goes. She makes a name for herself. Everybody gonna know, oh, such and such, yeah, I know her. She's not, she doesn't have a nasty attitude. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't repel people because your energy, if we don't know it or not, a lot of times we don't even have to say much. Our energy precedes us. Our thoughts precede us. And this type of woman, she would be fit for a king, basically. Fit for a king. It says here, I got number 12, back again, because it keeps talking about all the work that she does. So she is a hard worker. Her night doesn't go out or at night, It says 13, prepared for the needs of her household. She's not afraid for the cold. She's not afraid for the cold. She prepares for the needs of her household. She goes out there and, again, with help. If you try to do this all alone, that's madness. It's not going to work. There's not that many hours in the day, only 24, so they tell us. And some of that is sleeping hours. You're not even going to burn yourself out trying to reach an unrealistic goal because we're misconstruing what we see here. You see what I pulled out in 7? She has helpers. In order to, some of the little things, I need you to go here for me. I need you to wash these clothes. I'll help you put them on the line. She has people to help her accomplish her task. No man is an island. If you try to do it alone, you will burn yourself out. It says she prepares for the needs of her household. You see food crisis coming. You see cold coming. You see different things coming. Your children are not going to be out there snotty nose looking crazy and people wondering where mommy is if mommy is not at home. Number 14 says seamstress, weaver, wise to do things with her hand. She is a seamstress. She is a weaver. Let me say, again, welcome to the Proverbs Challenge. This is Amuna Yisrael, not trying to make it go too long. Checking to see if we got any people in the house. For those who are listening in, welcome. Let's see here. And I'm going to keep going. I'm on number 17 of what I pulled out, 25 things on the checklist. Are you a virtuous woman? And it's not just some fantasy, woo-woo, try to reach it, catch me if you can, but you'll never get there. This woman, from what I'm reading, she's fit for a king, and she has the help to accomplish all of what we're reading here. 15 is she's a philanthropist. She cares about the needs of the poor. She cares about the needs of the needy. She doesn't walk past people in need and, that's not my job. Or you need to get a life, get a job, or whatever the case may be. She has a heart for the Most High's people. Another very important quality. Again, like I said, that's why he said some have done excellently, but we try to achieve all of this without the framework that it takes, and that's why the question was, is she born or is she made? It says, fine clothing. This is one. The ladies, they were like, well, I'm a virtuous woman because I like to dress good. I even saw a picture of a virtuous woman with high heels, studded high heel, because she likes fine clothing. The virtuous woman is wise, and I'm going to read that a little bit later, but it's not just about looking good. It's much more to looking good. She's the entire package, and this is why you see a lot, but she is like beyond. She's not normal. She's like, the good wife is from the Most High. She excels, as the Lemuel says she exceeds them all. It says, so just liking a lot of nice clothes and liking the style and, I know I look good, that's not enough to qualify to be a virtuous woman. 17 says her husband is known in the gates. I call this the pastor syndrome, pastor wife. I am pastor's wife. I want to be pastor's wife. I want to seduce the pastor or the moray or the priest because I want to be the one sitting there saying I am such and such. That is not enough just to be on the arm of somebody notable who sits in the gates. It's not enough because a lot of people try to, and then they don't live up to that expectation again because they have to match. If your husband is notable in the gates, then you have to be notable in your sphere of influence. And if you're not notable in your sphere of influence, the question is, did you put yourself there or did he put the wrong person there? And this is a question because we see it all the time. I think there's a TV show named I don't watch it, but I heard of it. Pastor's Wives, something like that. And I think it's some kind of reality TV like that. And it's crazy. I'm like, what in the world? This is some madness. But again, the same level that the man is, the Most I say is not good that man should be alone. So he made him a helpmate. There has to be some level of comparability. Comparable. It has to be comparable. Comparable means I go to the store, I spent $100, I bought this whatever, and it's not good enough. And now you have to replace it with something comparable. I can't spend $100 and you give me a $5 gift certificate. That's not comparable. So what I'm seeing here is her husband sits in the gates and he's known, and a lot of times we try to make ourselves or put ourselves in positions to attain certain things to be virtuous when the reality is it's not matching, it's not adding up. This is not to say that we can never attain. It's just saying the reality of where we are. That's why things sometimes look a little mismatched. 18 says she makes fine merchandise for others as well to sell. Again, she's an entrepreneur. She works with her hands. She makes stuff. Things that she doesn't only want her to look good, because there's some people who only they're supposed to look good and only their family's supposed to look good. And that's it. It's all about me. But she has so much overflow. She's so blessed and she has so much overflow that now she goes into the market to share this with others. That's what it says here. It says she is wise and kind. That's another one that I got. That's number 19. That she's wise and kind. Because to be virtuous without showing that is kind of like an oxymoron. If you're virtuous, if you're kind, if you fear the Most High, that is going to emanate from your very core, from your very being. That's going to emanate. So she is wise and kind. If you are known to be a nasty person, it's not the end of the road. We can figure out where the nastiness is coming from. If we pretend to be wise and kind and nice, but really we hate people and we dislike people and I can't just wait for you to banish from my presence, the Most High sees. Because before we can be virtuous to others, we have to be virtuous in the sight of the Most High. It says here she's attentive to the needs of her home and her children. She knows what's going on. She knows what they need. She knows, she's on point. 21, she's not idle. She's not often bored. Oh, I'm bored. It's my daughter. I'm teaching her now. Every minute, I'm bored, mommy. I'm bored. I said, there's always something to do. Even if you're resting and meditating on the word of the Most High, that's doing something. Bored and idleness means that you're doing nothing, and eventually, like they used to say, devil, I work for idle hands. You're going to find something silly and stupid to do. You're going to hurt yourself or hurt somebody else, and you just wasted time. So when we were growing up, bored was like a curse word. You can never say that you're bored because they would tell you, go read a book, go find something to do. Bored was like you just cursed at our parents. So they taught us that early. Don't say the word bored. It's like, what? It's like you just committed a carnal sin if you said that. It says 22, children call her blessed and husband appreciate her. This is one that I wanted to go back to the first verse. When we realized that it's Lemuel who is talking and his mother is talking, he wrote down a prophecy that his mother told him. It says why I took the time in the beginning is to say that the husband is not an everyday husband. And so being that he's not an everyday husband, he's going to appreciate this because it says this kind of wife is from the Most High. So being that he know that gift came from his creator, he's going to appreciate her. But if it is that he's not that standard of husband, like the case of Abigail and Nabal, Nabal was not that standard of husband. He didn't really appreciate Abigail. And that's why she just had to hold her peace and do what she needed to do. Because sometimes, I like to sing the song, in a perfect world, things will never end like this. It's an old song. I used to listen to some soft rock song. But it's not a perfect world. So a lot of times, there's mismatches that happen. And it goes kind of like this. How in the world did she end up with him? You know, it's a mismatch. You don't know how, where it's coming from, but it happened. What is he doing with her? That kind of thing that makes you go, huh? It's a mismatch. You see it happen in the scriptures. It happens. In this case, though, it's not a mismatch, and it's a perfect match. And you will hear that her children call her blessed, and her husband appreciates her. 23 says, many people have talents, but she excels. It's like basketball. I mean, I'm going to date myself now. Back when Michael Jordan was playing, many people had talents, but Michael Jordan excelled them all. Now you get, you know what I'm saying? There was a whole league of NBA players, but Michael Jordan excelled them all. It's like in the musical arena. Many people could sing, but Michael Jackson excelled them all. You don't have a Michael Jackson every day. You understand? Many people could play golf, but Tiger Woods excels them all. That kind of excellation where you in a class by yourself, it's not going to happen every day. And it's just for us to, it's like for me personally to realistically look and say, I'm gonna absorb what the Most High is giving me and perfect that. Because if you're a king's wife, then then you got to go all the way, and then you got that king money so that you could carry them. I call my imaginary helper Maria. You got that king Kesef so you can hire Maria so she could come in here and help you with some stuff. 24 says she fears the Creator, and we got one more to go, and that's it. I know this one's running kind of long, but this is the last day of the Proverbs challenge, and I'm here trying to just do it up. And we're going to probably go for like 30 minutes. So the last one says here, the last one says, no, 24, she is an honorable person. At the end, I like to say at the end of your days, when your obituary is read, because everybody will die, there's a time for everything under the sun, will it be known that you are honorable? And the thing is, we can't really be honorable in secret. There's no secret honorability. It's either we are or we aren't. We can't hide our works. They're going to show, whether we good or whether we were not, whether we fronting or whether we are not. When we're off guard and nobody knows it and you're walking in the street, and are you going to be that honorable person, or only is it when the camera's on or when the selfie is on or when whatever is on? Is she honorable? Are you honorable is the question with this 25 questionnaire. Are you 25 things that make a virtuous woman? And the last one, it said the first shall be last and the last shall be first. That's what I heard one time, right? The last one, which shall be the first one. Does she fear the Most High? The fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom. We went from 1 to 31, back to 1 again. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom. Once we begin to fear the Most High, that's the beginning of opening up all our understanding. May you have a blessed day. This has been a blessed experience. And no, it's not a booger in my nose as I keep seeing flashing, and I'm like, no, I think it's the nose ring. But thank you for joining The Faithful Life. This has been a blessing for me, like huge blessing, because I read the Proverbs, and sometimes we're in the family here, we're in here, and we go back and forth what it means. But this is the first time I've actually been able to cohesively verbalize and share what I thought or what I gleaned in a comprehensive kind of way that I myself could go look back and be like, oh wow, I got that for real. So I hope it has been as much as a blessing as for you as it been for me. This is A Faithful Life. Again, you can subscribe and you can see every day, today all the way back to the 1st July 2014. And look for other videos. I'm going to take a little video break right now because sometimes this was a test for me because I had to go all the way through. But I'm going to take a little video break, and y'all see me back in a few. Have a blessed day. Shalom.